Good day, all. This is Charles Mundy with Exodus Dispatching Training and Consulting Platform. I want to give you an introduction video to the Join Training platform. When someone clicks on the training page and they want to join the platform, they will be taken to this page here, and this video that I'm currently recording will be in here embedded so you can go over it. The goal of the training or of this page is to get people to sign up for the platform. The price point has been determined to be $349.99, so $349.99, and what that comes with is that's the enrollment. It's a one-time payment. The only payment that will be outside of that will be if someone wants consulting outside of the realm of what is taught or explained in the trainings with the videos and the eventual live operational trainings from a very beginning, basic standpoint. We're starting very basic, teaching people how to book freight from a beginner's level independent freight dispatcher. So when you sign up, you pay the price through a, let's click this, it'll take you to a PayPal screen, $349.99. And if you have a PayPal account, you can enter your email and password and pay that way. And those who don't, you have an option to pay with a credit or debit card, so you can hit that and then be taken to the this area here to enter your credit and debit card information. Once it's paid, I'll get an alert on my end saying that it was paid, and then I will communicate with that person and have them go back and sign up for membership to the page so they can get into the back office. But prior to that, though, we will be sending you, once we get confirmation of payment or enrollment into the training page, then we will be sending you the 3 ebooks as a study guide reference for you, because I want to give you guys like a quiz on the basic level of training and dispatching from a basic perspective to see where you are. And I had mentioned that I was going to use how much money do you need to move your truck as the main study guide for the quiz, but I may use that one as well as Dispatcher 101's ebook. I'm still going to send all 3 for free, so that's like almost nearly $100 value. So you get those for free. So you just paid $349, you get $100 back in value from the book. So it's essentially paying like $249. But anyway, the quiz will be 30 questions, open book or open ebook. 10 questions, true, false, 10 questions, multiple choice, 10 questions, fill in the blank. So open book, so everyone should have fairly simple time getting through that, because you can reference Dispatcher 101 and how much money you need to move your truck to become successful in the quiz. After that, there will be like an orientation where we go over the outline and the purpose of the training. We mentioned what's going to be involved and what do you have access to, and decide how that will be. Also in orientation, I probably will have everyone who signed up for the training page and the back office platform of beginners dispatching to initially sign in and ask to be joined on the membership, because when you click on one of the pages, let me show you what I mean here. I think I'm pre-logged in, but I will sign out. Yes, I'm pre-logged in, so I'll log out. So when you initially try to access, not just you can see the training page to log in, and you have access to the training page, the first page, and tells you what's involved, but the and also this one here, but the forms and documents, workflow of dispatching, dispatcher 101, ebook explained, carrier searches and load boards. If you click on that without logging in, you'll come to this page. So after you are in the platforms, taking the quiz, and then once we get to orientation, I'll have everyone who's involved to go ahead and log in, send an email request, create your email and your password, and then send it, and it'll send a request to the back office of this website. I'm the webmaster of the website, so I see everything to be a member of the site. So once you do that, then you will be able to, with whatever email that you had selected for your login, that will be your email to use. Of course, I recommend, if you already have a business email, if you already are establishing your beginning level dispatcher business, and you have an email associated with that, then that's what that would be. So once you join the training platform, then you go through the you get the quiz, you enroll in the platform for $349.99. You receive the 3 ebooks via email, because once I receive confirmation of the enrollment payment, then I'll email to that email that paid the 3 ebooks and let you know there's a quiz coming in the near future. And then once we get past the quiz, we'll have orientation. We may even have orientation prior to the quiz, but I want to make sure that you guys have a level of understanding of some of the terms. So when we do get back here and start talking about things, you'll have a little bit of understanding. And then so once you get past the orientation, I'll give out the ability to join the back office or site membership here. So you come into forms and documents is the first one. So you'll have access to the training videos on the forms and documents, and you'll be able to access the actual forms and documents. You'll see my Exodus dispatcher agreement and my profile, and you can use that as a template for your own as you begin to grow your independent freight dispatching business. Use it as a following template. Then you will see sample copies of what an MC authority looks like, what a certificate of insurance look like, and I actually I think in the video it goes over all that, but you also have access to download them and have them for yourself. Also a sample W-9, sample notice of insurance. Notice of assignment, I should say, which is for the carrier's factoring company to run the credit on the broker, and a copy of the sample carrier packet and a sample rate confirmation. So these are some of the basic forms you're going to need all the time when you are booking loads. With the exception of a notice of assignment and the 2 dispatcher agreement and load search profile, the other forms you always are going to need. They're always going to ask for, when you are booking a load, they're always going to ask you for your MC authority, certificate of insurance, sometimes listing them, the broker, as a certificate holder, and a copy of the carrier's W-9. And then once you get past all that, and they're going to send you, as a dispatcher representing the carrier packet for you to send to your carrier to fill out, or you fill out, depending on the relationship that you have in that particular partnership between you and your carrier. Now, for those of you who are a part of the National Dispatchers Network, you are to send your carrier packet to your carrier, let them fill it out, and then send it back to you, and then you forward that to your broker, and as well as the rate com. When they send you the rate confirmation after getting back the carrier packet along with the W-9, the MC authority, and the certificate of insurance, they'll process that, run it by their compliance office, make sure everything is good, approve it, and then they'll contact you via phone or email, say, okay, everything is approved, we're going to send you the rate confirmation. They'll send it to you because you're the middle person, the dispatcher. Then you will send that to the carrier, let them look it over, make sure everything is good, sign it, send it back to you, and then you forward that to the broker. That is particularly if you are a part of the National Dispatchers Network. Now, if you are outside of the network, the process may be the same, it may be different. You may have express permission or implied permission to do the carrier packet as well as the rate confirmation for your carrier, or you may not. So if you do, then you will do that process, and you should have enough information based off of the dispatch agreement and load source profile to complete that process. And if you don't, you just contact your carrier and get that information. One second here. She's texting me. Okay, so next will be the workflow of dispatching, and this is also, you'll have access, once you sign in, once you log in overall, you'll have access to the remainder of the links, the sublinks under the training page. Excuse me here. Letting the wife know. So now, workflow of dispatching, I have a training video for that. And it goes into extensive detail, and then this is the workflow of dispatching. What it is a workflow is a process, either high level or kind of intermediate, or maybe even detailed, depending on the situation or the circumstance, of a process from start to finish. Now with us, as independent dispatchers on this platform and in this industry, ours is a workflow from the time that the carrier emails you back a dispatch agreement and profile up until the time that the carrier drops and you invoice them. And invoicing meaning maybe you invoice them yourself, or if you are a student on the National Dispatchers Network, which is where I came up out of, then there is a process where you send everything to their processing center along with attaching documents that they need in order to invoice the carrier, and then once the carrier pays the processing center, they give you your percentage that's agreed upon. Now, if you're outside of the network, then that could be a different process, how you invoice. You can invoice using Square, PayPal, or whatever invoicing system that you use. But the workflow covers getting back the dispatch agreement and profile, and then contacting the broker associated with the load. Assuming that you found the load, you contacted the broker. The broker is going to ask you a series of questions, namely what's the MC number, or even if the load is available or not, give you detailed specifics of the load, so you'll be able to determine if your carrier's equipment type is able to handle that load. And then once all that is confirmed, then the broker will send you the carrier packet. You fill that out, or your carrier fills it out, send it back. Then the broker will send a rate confirmation. Make sure you read everything. Make sure that the numbers on the confirmation matches up with the number that was originally posted for the load when it was put up on whatever load board you found it on. Once the rate con is signed and sent back to the broker, you want to send that to your carrier. Keep copies for yourself. The key word there is communicating. Make sure everyone's on the same page. And then follow the carrier through the process from picking up the load from the shipper and delivering it to the receiver. So, and communicating with the carrier, making sure everything is good. And then once the carrier receives the BOL, which is the bill of lading, which is the delivery receipt, proof of delivery of the commodity or the freight that was on his or her truck or trailer, then if you're on the network, there's a process that is used, namely the carrier will send you a copy of the BOL. You take that copy, attach it to an email, and along with the rate confirmation and the dispatcher agreement, and then you put in the body of the email your information, your name, your phone number, email, the carrier's name, phone number, email, MCN number, the load information, where it picked up from, where it delivered to, the weight, the rate, and the time, and things like that, and the name of the broker, broker's name, number, email, contact information. And then you send that email to, again, if you're on the National Dispatchers Network, you send it to dispatch@rbbstransport.com. Now, if you are outside of the National Dispatchers Network, then there may be other ways that you invoice your carrier once they deliver and get their BOL. I, particularly with my company, Exodus Logistics, I just simply, when the carrier tells me that they're empty and they've delivered, I send them my invoice, and then I attach a copy of my rate con that they were on under that with it, and then go from there. So that's the workflow of dispatching. And then the next one would be Dispatcher 101 Explained. Go through that process. And this is all in the training. So when you join this platform, this is what you'll get. Of course, you got training videos. And this is part of what we're offering in this platform. These are the things that you're getting. This is the third. This is a 1, 2, 3, third installment. The third resource, tool, and resource that's on this training platform. Dispatcher 101 Introduction to Dispatching video talks about that. Dispatcher 101 Finding Carriers. There's an extensive video about how to find carriers, where to go, the sources. And then Dispatcher 101 Dispatcher Agreement and Load Search Profile, going over that a little bit in detail, giving some more explanation and going over the jargon, the legalities of that. And then Dispatcher 101 Finding Loads for your carrier. So you talk about the dispatch agreement, you find your carriers, and then you find loads for your carrier. So what load boards and things like that to use to find it. And then this is the actual table of contents from Dispatcher 101, so you can actually see it for yourself. And there. And then carrier searches touches a little bit more on how to find carriers. It's a little over an hour video that speaks about where to go to find carrier, different resources to use, so you can play this back and forth for yourself and get an idea over and over and over again to get a little bit of understanding of it. And then the different sources that I use, truck search feature on Truckers Path, and then I also use a little bit of ComFreight. There are other sources, of course. You have Google, you have there's one called Fleet Directory. There's other areas to look, but and then that's explained in the video. And then finally, load boards. And load board training, how to use the load board, the different load boards. And then in here, I actually give you Internet Truck Stop, my load board, the actual username and password for it, and as well as the username and password for Trucker Path, my login, username and password. You can do your own for free. You can set it up for free. And then there's another one, Nextload, as well. So there you have it. And then eventually, as members join the site, they will have. I'm trying to create a blogging community so we can speak to each other inside of the site as well, and also communicate outside of the site. I've created a Facebook group, Dispatcher 101, Beginners Dispatching, and a chat group based in that as well, and it's private, so people can join by upon approval, and it's more catered to the very basic level of understanding of dispatching. So if you are just coming into the industry and you have no idea, no clue what to expect, and you are considered very much a beginner, even if you aren't a beginner or you don't have an understanding, but you have, you have a little understanding, but not enough to be like dangerous, but you want to learn more, you can also join as well. In addition to all of this, to the back training page, I will be also doing live weekly trainings. I'm trying to I want to make sure I don't overlap with the National Dispatchers Network's live weekly training, since we are trying to do it from a very beginning level, basic level. I'm trying to see if I want to do it on the same day or the next day. That particular training, live weekly training, is on Saturdays at 10:15. I may do Saturday after that or before. I'm trying to determine if it's going to be too early or too late, or I may do it next day, Sunday. But then I have to consider that, people are, the spiritual people, they're in church, so you have to consider like what time during the day. So what I'll do is ask for feedback for what day will be a convenient day. So if you want to, and if you watch this video, give me some feedback. What do you think the day and time that I should consider doing live weekly trainings for beginner level dispatchers? You can get it in. You can put it in the RBDS chat group. You can put it in the contact us section of this website, or you can email me at ExodusLogisticsLLC@yahoo.com or info@ExodusDispatchingandTraining.com. So this is the training page. This is the back office. This is where you'll have most of your information. It won't be as extensive as the National Dispatching Network. I'm considering phone lines, I'm considering e-faxes, and I'm also considering emails. Trying to weigh the overhead of that from the beginning. That may come down the line as we see a need for it, but the purpose of this is a training platform. And then some people may even ask the question, well, will you do invoicing for like the National Dispatchers Network? I'm not sure if I'll do the invoicing. Since you guys will be your own business owners, I would think that you would want to keep all of your percentages and do the back office invoices for yourself. It's a pretty simple process, and sending out an email to your carriers to bill them for that service that you just provided for them is that can be shown to you as well. So, and then there's other little things that will be shown in the training as we grow and progress throughout the age of the training as we move forward. For example, when you first become an independent dispatcher, what do you need to set up your office? What equipment do you need? Like a laptop, a phone line, a printer, certain things like that. And then what else you need? I think I have some paperwork on that as well, if I can find it. So like how to get started setting up your office, because you are your own boss, so you will probably need some kind of training or understanding, or even just information of, what does it take to be an independent dispatcher as far as the physical equipment type. You probably don't need like a brick and mortar office building to go in. You can work from home. I'm on my laptop. I have access to a printer, like a 3-in-1 printer, copy, scan, and fax, a 4-in-1 actually. And I use my cell phone. I may end up getting a landline eventually, but those are the base equipment types. And then as you grow, you'll probably need more stuff like if you want to do your dispatcher agreements in a PDF file reader where you just send it to the carrier. They can DocuSign it right there and then send it right back to you. It makes the process a little bit more streamlined. And then we may discuss a little bit about like the type of business license that you want to consider getting, like a sole proprietorship as opposed to an LLC, tax information, your EIN, things like that. It's just basic stuff, basic brief stuff, nothing real detailed. Available resources that you may be able to use to help your business, some type of funding or things like that. So I can give you a little perspective of what I am involved in, and then see where that will take you. Of course, in the basic training, we go over basic terms and definitions of the trucking industry from a very basic perspective. You know, what is a dry van? What is a reefer? What is a flatbed? You know, what is those terms? What is lumping? What is backhaul? So these are basic terms that when you first start and you hear, it's like, okay, I'm lost. I don't know. So as you hear it over and over again, and then you get an understanding of it, you'll say, okay, I get it now. Required documents to run your business. Namely, the main thing is just the contract between you and the carrier, the dispatch agreement. That's the main. You need a contract to run to have it between you and him, and the dispatch agreement is that form. Training, rates, negotiating. That'll come in time. We're not brokers, so we don't really press too hard on that level. So won't deal with that as much. Of course, load board training. So in the weekly live trainings, what we'll do in the weekly live trainings, I'm not sure how long they'll be, but we'll rehash the process over and over and over again of actually how to namely get a carrier under agreement. Once you get that process down, then namely find a load for the carrier, understand that process through going on the load boards, or maybe even having relationships with brokers you may or may not know, shippers you may or may not know. You can just talk to them directly without even looking at the load boards, and then booking the load, you know, the lingo involved in that, the process involved in that, and then repeating that process. Or even before you get to repeat that process, after booking the load, invoicing the carrier, not invoicing the broker for the carrier, because we're not quite there yet. I haven't even started that process. I was thinking about incorporating that into my business, but then that would involve more services, which will involve more percentages or more charges. So right now, as it stands, I just invoice the carrier for my service for him or her in finding loads for them and booking loads. Pre-qualifying brokers, pre-qualifying carriers, pre-qualifying shippers. What that means is making sure that they are, you know, like with carriers, I have a video in the training in the back page here of how to vet out good carriers from bad, you know, their safety ratings, CSA scores, any of those characteristics that present red flags. Then you'll have to make a decision of what to do next. Required documents to book freight with customers. We go over all that. I'm just kind of reading over an outline but basically the outline that I'm reading over is in somewhere in one of these 5 links in the training page. And then the purpose of the live training is to answer those questions live. The person who has a question that can ask it live, and then we can go over it together and bounce ideas off of each other's heads, because I don't want to say that I know more than the next person. It's just that I kind of got it a little bit sooner, and now I'm out here getting the experience, and I see the same thing over and over and over again. It's the same process. The only thing that changes are the carriers and the brokers, but the process of doing this type of work, the independent freight dispatching, is the same. You just deal with different personalities, and you deal with different, you know, with the carriers, and then you deal with different personalities with the brokers. Like, for example, today I had a carrier that I found a load for, went to the broker and booked the load, but then it turned out when he got to the shipper, they said they didn't want to load him because of whatever reason. So you know, those are things that those are little fires that you have to put out. They end up loading him. What it was is one of the shipper managers was new there. They didn't know the process, so the broker called them, explained to them that they load. He had a 48-foot flatbed, and the shipper manager was saying that they only load 53, but the broker said we load 48-foot flatbeds all the time. So after about 20 minutes, my driver, because he was empty, and he drove over there about 60 miles. He drove over there deadhead to get that load, and we thought we wasn't going to get it, and I was going to have to find him another load, but I would have charged him a TONU, and you'll come across that term later on down the line as it that's a little bit more, I guess, intermediate to advanced. TMOU means truck ordered, not used. And what that means is if you book a load with a broker, and they ordered that truck. They ordered your truck from your carrier. And if you go to a destination and for whatever reason it doesn't get loaded, you can bill them for that. you know, so truck ordered but not used. So TONU, T-O-N-U, but that's later on down the line. But I just wanted to give you an example of certain things to expect. But the process is the same from an independent freight dispatcher's perspective. The only thing that changes are the carriers that you deal with and the brokers that you deal with, the relationships in booking that load for that specific point in time. So so we will go over that in live training. We will repeat the process over and over and over again until everyone gets to a point where, okay, I'm comfortable here, and then we'll move on to the next process. And of course, there will be questions, and then the people will provide input and provide extra things that will benefit the whole group, the platform, and we all can grow together, because that's the goal. If we are all independent dispatchers, then I kind of anticipate that we all are trying to learn this together and make money and be our own bosses and have the freedom, work from home, things like that. So that is it. Joining me training platform video. Just wanted to give you a basic overview of what to expect, the outline. You go to the training page, you join, you pay the amount, the $349.99. We get an alert, and we'll email you the 3 ebooks as a study guide. I think from the point that we send you the ebook until we decide to give you a quiz, maybe like a week out. So you can only imagine that there may be, because there are going to be people joining at different times. So you might have a person join one day. Today is Friday. You might have a person join Friday. So a week from then will be next Friday. And then you might have several people join the following Monday. So you may ask yourself, well, if that person who joined Monday, you think they'll be ready to take a quiz on Friday? It's open book, 30 questions, 10 multiple choice, 10 true, false, 10 fill in the blank. So I'm trying to decide how to do that, to give them the quiz, give them all the quiz at the same time, because I want to get everyone in orientation, or get a group of people in orientation at the same time, so I can go over some of the same things at the same time, get them all signed up into site membership so they can access all of the tools and resources back here, have access to the load boards, and begin to understand that and how to navigate. Under the load board section, I actually show you guys in the videos how to actually navigate the load boards that I give you access to. And with that, from a basics perspective, a lot of the things are kind of similar to, you know, the origins are, you know, that you got to have an origin, you have to have a destination, you have to have an equipment type, and whether it's full or partial, you have to have a date, and then you hit submit. All the other things you add and kind of tweak along the way. So there you have it. This video here will be embedded into the join training page link or section of this website. So that'll be it for that. So I look forward to oh yeah, by the way, I was talking to someone, and as another teaching tool, I guess, I'm going to create a cheat sheet for beginning dispatchers. When you call, when you have a carrier under agreement and you call the brokers to say, okay, we have a load here and we're interested in the load, the carrier is going to usually ask you, okay, what is the weight of the load, what's the commodity, what's the pickup and delivery times, and things like that. Because sometimes on load boards, they don't list a lot of the details of the load, right? So let me give you an example of that. I didn't expect this video to be long, but sometimes when things come across your mind, you want to make a point. Hopefully we have access to this. To the screen here. You share. What am I sharing? Okay, my desktop. Okay. So hopefully you guys see this. So I'm logging into Internet Truck Stop. So and I have some loads that I got up here looking for loads for people, for my carriers. So if you go here, like Sparta, New Jersey, going to Chambersburg, it's a flatbed. That shouldn't be a flatbed, by the way. Yeah, it should. Never mind. So now you have a list of, and I teach how to navigate and things like this in here, right? So let's use this as a mini teaching tool on Loadboard, right? So I entered the origin as Sparta, New Jersey, and the equipment type and things like that. So, and I got this result set. So this is one of 5 results from doing a quick load search. They're not expanded, so you hit this, it expands that one, and then these are the loads, 12 loads. Then you click the rate to put it in numerical order. Right, there you go. So any one of them you want to open, let's open this one. So now it opens up to another page. So the cheat sheet I'm going to create is something that you'll ask the broker, so you can, when you call back the carrier, let them know that you have details of the load. They can make a more informed decision and an educated decision to decide if that's the right load for them. So for whatever reason, this one is not. What's going on? I have no idea why it's not opening up to the details section. But anyway, if you notice, like in some of them, they have details and other ones do not. Like for example, let's just open up this. Like you have rates in some of them, but others do not. You have length of the flatbed in some, and others do not. You have weight in some, and others do not. So you have mileage in all of them. Sometimes you don't even have mileage in all of them. So what you would do is you would call the broker. Let me log out of here. I'll check that later, that account. You would call the broker and say, okay, I'm interested in a load going from A to B. Whatever A to B is, whatever city and state A is, whatever city and state B is. And then you'll say, okay, I noticed I have some questions about the load, or they'll even start telling you details about the load. So if they fill in some of the blanks of what's on your cheat sheet, then that's fine. And whatever they leave out, then you ask the question, okay, maybe they left out the dimensions of the truck. Like if it's a flatbed, if it's 48 or 53 foot long, or if the load of commodity is 48, 53 foot long, if it's 8 feet wide or more, that means it's over with. You have to know that, because now the carrier may have to get some kind of permit for an oversized load and things like that, maybe even a pilot car. And that'll come later on down the line what all that stuff means. So I'm going to also include somewhere in here, I may put it in forms because it is a form, cheat sheet. Matter of fact, I will create it and then make it a PDF and then upload it into here and put it in forms and documents. Cheat sheet of what to ask brokers, load details to ask brokers for your carrier, so you can give them a more informed information about what the load is, so they can make a more educated decision about whether to take that load or not. It just makes you look better as a dispatcher, and it makes the communication gap. It narrows the communication gap, because now you both have an understanding of what exactly that load is. And since you've gotten back a dispatch agreement and carrier profile, on your carrier profile there are some dimensions and things listed on the carrier profile that tells the type of trucks that your carrier has. So when you look at loads, you can make the decision yourself kind of based off of what's on the profile, what they can and cannot handle as far as weight, length, things like that. So it's good things to know. And from a basic perspective, these are some of the things that we probably need to be aware of, because it just, especially starting off basic, and then as you do a few and that process repeats itself over and over and over again, you'll begin to see that, okay, so this is what it is. You know, every time I do this, this is what they ask. Broker asks me for, you know, my MC number all the time, because they want to look up the carrier to make sure that whether they're signed on to their company or not. And if they're not, they're going to send me a packet. I fill out the packet, or if they are signed up with the brokerage already, they'll send a rate confirmation. If they're not, they're going to send a packet. I fill it, or the carrier fills it out, returns it along with the MC authority, the certificate of insurance, and the W-9. So, and then we cover all those in forms and documents and workflow, dispatcher one-on-one, what those things are, what they're at on load boards as well, how to search for loads, how to vet out the MCs, just different things, the age of the MC, the service date, stuff like that. So basic. The whole point and goal of this training is to give individuals who want to be independent freight dispatchers, work from home, be your own boss, a basic level understanding of this industry, of being a dispatcher. And we are trying to fill in the gaps of what's being explained and taught on from the National Dispatchers Network, answer the little questions that are being posed on that platform to give it more of a basic level understanding, so you can be better served when you are participating on that network, as well as if you're not on that network and you're someone who is brand new coming into the industry as a whole, you will have a basic level understanding of how to be, or what it is to be, an independent freight dispatcher. So with that, I'll close from here. Again, I will embed this video along with information into the join training platform. You'll see it here. It'll be below this pay button to join the platform. So right above, click the pay button if you're interested. So if you have any questions, you can do a contact us, email me also or email the company at Exodus Logistics at LLC@yahoo.com. That's Exodus Logistics LLC @yahoo.com. Also info at ExodusDispatchingAndTraining.com. That's info at ExodusDispatchingAndTraining.com. And as always, I always ask that if there happen to be any owner-operators who are watching this video or any of the other videos that I put on this website, and you have a need for a dispatcher to help you find loads, to be another option for you, you can go to the website at www.ExodusDispatchingAndTraining.com, and you can click on the dispatching page, and you will be brought to this page here with a video explaining dispatching, and you can listen to that. And also, you will be able to see the welcome packet and download the welcome packet to get an idea of what the company is about, as well as the service agreement and the carrier profile. And then, of course, if you are an individual interested in the training, you can go to www.exodusdispatchingandtraining.com. This is the join training platform video. So this is mainly for that. And then also, if you are a individual that needs consulting, one-on-one consulting, even if you're a student on the platform and you need that extra one-on-one because you're not quite getting it, even if you're an owner-operator, you need some consulting on what to do as far as your company, what factory company you may need, what insurance company you may want to select. You can hit the consulting page. And then those who do not want to join the platform but still want to have some information about it, or about dispatching itself, you can look at the ebook page and then go with the ebooks there and decide which one you want to go from there. Again, this is Charles Mundy at Exodus Logistics. This is the join training platform video. Look forward to hearing from those who are interested. And then I'm going to leave you with, when you click on the home page, you may get a little bit of this. Don't be overwhelmed when you hear this, though. So let me log out first and give you a little bit of what I listen to from time to time. Here you go.